problem of the world today. People just don't believe that he's coming back one day. Oh no, do you?
Okay, Shalom. Giving all praises and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kwadash. This is the brother Lamadia coming back with you with another edifying video. So this video will be entitled, "We Must Hold Each Other Accountable." Now, what does that mean? Other words, now when you see a certain brothers that's in the truth doing something that is unacceptable with the Most High, your job is to correct that person. Okay? Or somebody says something contrary to the scriptures, you correct them. Because that's our job. That's why scriptures say iron sharpen iron. So our job is to correct them. Because if they're going off they head on the wrong path, you bring them right back to the right path. You may have a passive aggressive approach, or sometimes the Lord may have you come out with it with a more aggressive approach, depending on the circumstance. Okay? Because we are close to the end, and this is the time for us to tighten up. And we have to, make sure brothers on the right path, and that they're not being distracted, or they're not doing anything that'll cause them to fall out. So sometimes you got to bring out the whip sometimes. And it's not us doing it. It's actually the spirit of the Most High. Now, if you see a brother doing something and you're like, well, I'm not going to say nothing, I'm just going to keep it to myself, or I'm just going to agree because I don't feel like arguing with him, so I'm going to say he's right. That's when having respect of persons. That's not what we're about. We're about men of truth. Part of being in the truth is accepting truth and being straight up with one another. If somebody's going off, you let them know they're going off. Regardless, they have more rank than you or whatever the case may be. You don't hold it in. Okay, what we're looking at is Leviticus, the 19th chapter, and we're going to read down from the 15th verse. And it says, ye should do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness. Now, the word righteousness simply just means to do that which is right. And everything was put in the scriptures on how to judge matters. So whenever you have a discrepancy, you go back to the scriptures. Okay, so let's read back. It says, ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. And that's according to the scriptures. Verse 16. Thou shalt not go up and down as a talebearer among thy people. A talebearer is a person that gossip and report information back to one another. He says, she said. But this is in the law, not to be a talebearer. And it reads, neither shalt thou stand against the blood of thy neighbor. I am the Lord. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor. See that? You rebuke, you correct them, and not suffer sin upon him. So you might be in a circumstance, and you might hear brother say something, and it may not be the best decision to make. You correct them, you know, and that's all you could do is tell them, remind them of what the scriptures say. Now, if he go about and do it anyway, now it's between him and the Lord, because you told him. Now, this is Deuteronomy chapter 1 and 17, and it reiterates what Leviticus say, and it reads, "Ye shall not respect the person in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great." Okay, so now, what does that mean? You should hear the matter, the small and great. You can't be biased. You know what I'm saying? You can't be biased. So, like, you might see, a brother that's coming into the faith. You don't want to be that guy that's quick to correct somebody, only the brother that's younger than the faith. But another brother that been in some time, you kind of slow to like correct them. That's showing respect of person. That's why Scripture mentions the small and the great. There's a standard, and the Lord put us under that standard equally. Meaning, if somebody's guilty of something, you let them know they fault, no matter who it is. Okay, so ye shall not respect the persons in judgment, but ye shall hear the small as well as the great. Ye shall not be afraid of the face of man. So, like, if somebody doing something, you speak up. Don't be you can't be afraid, like, oh, well, I don't feel like arguing with this person and going back and forth. And hey, man, you let them know. You speak up. So I read on. For the judgment is the Most High, and the cause of that is, and the cause that is too hard for you, bring it unto me, and I will hear it. So, in other words, you had a heart of matter, you bring the matter to another brother. All right, maybe let's say you just came in to the truth, and maybe the matter too hard. You might bring the matter or to somebody else who may have the answer for it. So now this is Titus 1 and 13, and it reads, "This witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply, that they may be sound in the faith." Now, this is going back to what I was saying earlier. If you see a brother going off or steering away from the right path, it's your duty now to get him in the right, excuse me, get him back in the right path. So you have to rebuke him. And you bring out the scriptures. Remind them what the scriptures say. And it says so that they may be sound in the faith. Sound means to be healthy. Because the moment you start feeding into the flesh or serving the flesh, your faith become unhealthy, and your faith start actually fading away. So now I'm gonna close with 2 Peter's 3 and 11 on down, and it reads, "Seeing then that all these things should be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" Now, what is going to be dissolved? This current rulership. America's going down. But so the Lord is saying, what manner of person you ought to be. Other words, what conduct you supposed to have, knowing that we at the end. You have to tighten up. So it says, what manner of person ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. In other words, that's going into World War III and the destruction of America through nuclear missiles. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelling righteousness. That's going into the kingdom. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent. In other words, be diligent, meaning you gotta remain consistent. So it says, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. Okay, so this is a time to tighten up. And it's not a time to be making simple mistakes and being distracted. We at the end, you know? Forget about the things in the world, what's happening now, because guess what? As we draw closer to the end, Satan is going to do things to make us fumble the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, or try to bring distractions within our life to steer us away from the scriptures. And you have to be mindful of that things are going to happen. A lot of things not going to go your way. A lot of things is not going to be comfortable. But you got to stay focused. And so I hope this video was edifying. And again, I'm going to say all praises and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash, and Shalom.